Welcome you back to Black Side Tonight. We're going to talk about Joy Reid basically saying there is no racism in the Ukraine. First, I would like for you to subscribe to this channel, hit that like button, hit that notification button, but also comment in this video. If you would like to make a donation, go to PayPal or Cash App. Joy Reid has done it again. She has made an extraordinary statement by saying there is no racism in Ukraine. She looked at the damn television screen through the camera and denied that there was any racism in the Ukraine after seeing so many Ukrainians being stranded, so many Africans being stranded in the Ukraine by the racist Ukrainian authorities. If anyone knows anything about Ukraine, you must understand that during World War II, they sided with the Nazis. There's a huge Nazi strain within the Ukraine, a group called C-14, and they have other groups, some within the government, that basically says they want a pure Ukraine. And if you heard some of the leadership in the Ukraine, if you heard some of the media in the Ukraine talking about blonde hair, blue-eyed children, basically saying we are white Christian people. They have said this over and over again, but this mammy, this coon, gets on MSNBC trying to rile black people up into supporting these racists in the Ukraine. This woman is dangerous. She's little more than a propaganda arm of the Democrat Party, Joe Biden, in the military-industrial complex war machine. Black people, we have no fight. We have no reason to get involved in the Ukraine. These are the same people who are talking about the Ukrainians are white, civilized people. So what the hell that makes us in Africa, or those Arabs in the Middle East, or those who happen to be in Central America? See, we have to understand that white people will always, in difficult times, show you who they really are. And the Ukrainians have shown that. You have seen countries bring in Ukrainians because they're white, like they were their next door neighbors. But when the Syrians and the Nigerians and other people flee the Middle Eastern war in Syria, these were the same people who denied them entry into Hungary, Poland, and several other European countries. They even made barbed wire gates telling them not to proceed into my country. But we get people like Joy Reid bending over backwards, shining masters' shoes, basically saying we must help master when two slave masters are fighting against each other. Let them fight. Don't get into their battles. And we're going to have to stop trying to bail out white folks like we did in so many wars, going back to the Civil War, World War I, World War II. We died in Vietnam, Iraq. We shouldn't be involved in this nonsense. And when the Congressional Black Caucus opens their coon mouths and try and get us involved in a war that has nothing to do with us, these same Ukrainians would never, I repeat, never come to the aid of Africans or foundational Black Americans or ADOS. They wouldn't lift a finger for us. But it didn't take Joe Biden but 5 seconds to send $350 million in military aid And plus, he's going to send them another $10 billion. But when we ask for something, ain't no money. We don't have the time or patience for our agenda. Now, our agenda has been put aside by the pandemic, a war in Ukraine. So when do we get something for our vote? You know what we got for our vote? We got a Ukrainian war, we got inflation, we got crime, we got the Mexicans rolling over the border. That's what we got out of this election. And those of you out there who are saying that Trump was evil, he was the bad one, we never had this under Trump. We didn't have the wars, the inflation, the Mexicans coming over the border. We didn't have any, and that's just facts. Look it up. You can hate them all you want to, but I'm dealing in facts. When this man steps into office, everything has gone to hell in a handbasket. And now we supposed to have sympathy for some refugees that happen to be white, and they gonna be treated like kings and queens, and they even gonna bring them over here to the inner city ghettos, set them up so they can be racist towards us. I'm tired of this government. Yes, Putin is bad, but why does America get to pick all the villains? Why aren't they the villain? What is they doing behind the scenes that we don't even know? The man told you he didn't want NATO and the EU on his border. And now we have been put in a circumstance where the man is backed up into a corner. You don't know what he's going to do. He might unleash a tactical nuke. We don't know. And he said if we even get involved in this situation, that's considered war. And if he goes to war with the EU and the United States, he's not going to just use basic warfare technology. He's going to go nuclear. When we got people on TV that we cannot trust, who sits there every night and coons for the slave master, you know she's not ADOS or FBA. But you out there, you have to turn off the mainstream media, and you must start looking around. Go to DW, go to India, go to Pakistan, look at other news services, not the American media who sells you war every 4 or 5 years. They sold you Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Somalia. Now they're ready to sell you Ukraine. So the military industrial complex can feed off the American people. Because when there's peace, there is no money to be made. America always needs a villain. What happened to Al Qaeda? What happened to all these other Arab organizations that was a threat to this country? Now they have been put aside. Even the pandemic has been put aside. And now the biggest threat, once again, is Russia. Because we had to deal with the Cold War for 60 or 70 years. Now we're back to a new Cold War. So the United States will triple the budget. That means less money for the American people. As Malcolm said, you're being hoodwinked, bamboozled, running amok, lied to once again. I want to thank you for listening to Black Site. I hope you subscribe to this channel, smash that like button, and also share this video.